Good evening, everybody. I would like to call this regular meeting of council to order on September the 16th, 2025 at 7:01 p.m. We'll stay seated for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you very much. As we gather this evening, I acknowledge on behalf of council and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history. And we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. So we will move on to the mayor's address. As we move closer to fall, the recent rainfall has brought a welcome relief to the extremely dry conditions we experienced in August. With temperatures moderating, timely rainfall, grass greening, and fire risks gradually declining, fire bans are slowly lifting throughout the county. Since our last meeting, I've attended 8 meetings on county and/or municipal business. Lori Benjamin, the CEO at Ottawa Valley Waste Recovery Center, sent an update from WSP consultant regarding a conference call with the groundwater and surface water reviewers. The reviewers indicated there are only 2 outstanding items. WSP needs to provide the revised groundwater in scepter trench figures showing the approved changes. And the approvals branch needs to provide confirmation on the size of the mixing zone. The TSS surface water reviewer requested this confirmation from the approvals branch back in February and has had no response. The reviewer will contact the approvals branch again. Once these items are addressed, WSP can submit the complete reports and the ECA application to the Commission's approvals branch. Billy Deneau, our MVP, and his staff will be assisting OVWRC in speeding up these approvals. On September 17th to the 19th, I'll be attending the Ontario East Municipal Conference in Ottawa. The focus of this conference is to bring together municipal leaders, industry stakeholders, and economic development professionals to exchange ideas, best practices, and discuss strategies for municipal development. At our county council meeting on September 10th, 2025, there was a fulsome discussion regarding affordable housing and homelessness. A number of factors are contributing to these growing issues. The majority of housing units in Renfrew County are 50+ years old and require some major improvements. During COVID, property values increased and landlords decided to sell some or all of their rental units, reducing the number of available affordable units. In addition, COVID contributed to an increase in mental health issues, and housing units required more costly repairs and longer delays for new occupants. Ontario Works recipients have not had an increase in their benefits since 2018, in spite of rising inflation and increased rental costs. As a result, there are currently almost 2,000 individuals on the wait list for Renfrew County housing. County is budgeting $1.4 million for 2026 from hotel stays to provide short-term housing. This is a significant cost and is money that isn't available for upgrading or constructing new housing units. In order to fund these costs, some of the programs the county provides are being cut. The investment plan for 2026 is attached. A reminder that Legion Week starts September 21st till September 27th, and the Renfrew County Municipal Day Open House is Wednesday, September 24th from 3 to 7 p.m. This is a great event for councils, families, and friends to meet staff and learn about the county's partner agencies. And that is my mayor's address, and I have a motion that the September 16th, 2025 mayor's address be accepted as presented, moved by Councillor Berg, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Are there any declaration? Oh, the other item is the annual conference update, which again was attached to my mayor's address. So if you want to review the the highlights from that. It's there for, I'm not gonna read it all, but it's there for your reading. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? Seeing none, then we move to the adoption of the minutes. And I have a motion that the August 19th, 2025 public zoning minutes and the August 20th, 2025 regular council minutes be accepted as presented. Moved by Councillor Buckle, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Any additions, corrections, or omissions? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you. We have no delegations tonight, so we'll move to reports. And the first one is the Killaloe Key Detachment Board. And we have our board member reports. And I have a motion that council accept the report as information and direct staff to contact the web designer to add an OPT detachment board page to the township website. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor French. Questions, comments, Councillor Rankin?
Just one question or comment. Why did they call it the Killaloe Detachment Board report and why wouldn't that be in line with the name or something?
Because it is for Killaloe Detachment.
Oh, so.
Yeah, so it's a detachment board under the Community Safety and Policing Act, Public Safety Act of Ontario. Police service boards have a police service board. Detachments have a detachment board. So just to identify which detachment it is, we just put Killaloe in front of it.
And what municipalities then are in the Killaloe Detachment?
There is ourselves, there's Walsham Valley, there is Madawaska Valley, there is Haggerty Richards, there is BLR. I believe we have a representative from
South Algonquin.
South Algonquin. And I have to the list of members should have been attached to this as well. In terms of reference.
I was just wondering like how broad a scope it was.
Yeah, so basically it's any of the detachments that are policed by Killaloe/Whitney, which is really just part of Killaloe now.
Right.
So Killaloe detachment actually covers Highway 60 all the way through to the west gate of Algonquin parking lot. And it has for the last number of years. So basically it covers from there as far as our township. So basically everything in that corner, it's a huge area.
So Alveston Bromley, I'm assuming would be where the
They would be spread from this.
Thanks.
However, I guess with the current amalgamation of the two detachments, there's still a lot of communication back and forth with the Renfrew.
There is still a lot of communication and a lot of working together. You know, if they have trouble staffing one detachment, an officer from another detachment can work overtime in one detachment. I know when they've been really short, we've actually had officers in Killaloe area from Bancroft. That again have come up to fill in when they've been really short on staffing. As the staffing numbers go, they're close to complement. Like you're never going to be a full complement. It depends between promotion, retirements, and people on training or help leasing like that. But there have been no reductions in staffing as a result of the amalgamation with Broadwell Valley. There is still a staff sergeant assigned to Killaloe. It's Staff Sergeant Darrell. Is still our staff sergeant. So they still have a staff sergeant, they still have Sergeant Tommy, they still have patrol officers. So really it's more of an administrative change. And one of the nice things about that is you now also draw from that larger area for specialties. So a breathalyzer technician, right, can be a little bit easier because now you're all folded into the same, you work together more. It will really actually become almost a preferred post for people to come to. And years ago, it wasn't like that. It was like you know, people want to do like their normal duration posted in there anyway and have the picture where we know it. But now from what they were saying at the meeting is there are people that want to come in there. And they're not all just sunset officers, either that are looking to finish up the career and retire here. There are some of them, but there are also some people that still have lots of career left in there.
Right.
Any education coming to?
As of our last meeting, the new detachment is still going ahead.
Councillor Robinson.
When you said the full complement, what is that in for that?
That's a very good question. I didn't ask that at the time. But I can find that out.
I'm curious.
I know there was a lot of discussion when we were setting up the service boards and who would be joining which detachments. Because we were patrolled by the Upper Ottawa Valley and Kittilaloot, but they assured us that there's still enough collaboration and communication between the detachments that if we decided to go Upper Ottawa Valley or Kittilaloot, we could rest assured that we were still getting lots of the proper feedback.
Yeah, as far as boots on the ground goes, there's not a lot of changes. Like they've changed their dispatch designations, and they may spread a little bit farther as they're covering off. But operationally, most people on the road actually aren't going to see a big difference. Where it's going to be now is the administrative end. Just have an inspector in charge of a Ottawa Valley where it used to be staff sergeant. So now you get something higher up food chain, which is not necessarily a bad thing. We can do that, right? So,
and with the two merged, it's like I just think of Lake Dory Road, because Killaloo used to patrol one end and Upper Ottawa Valley patrol the other. So they said now they would make sure that it's assigned to one detachment or the other, the whole length of the road.
And that's one of the things, like detail like that, I think they know the council question we haven't taken to the committee and get answers. As best we can, or if have any areas that you'd like, additional services on. Those are the kind of things that we can bring forward at the attachment board meetings. Or really at any time, if there's something that's more time sensitive, there's something. The staff sergeant is more than happy to hear them and do their best action if they can. Right, it all comes down to what's available.
Okay, well, thank you for that information and your report. Any other comments? Being none, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Item 7.2 is the lending hub wrap up. I have a motion that council accepts the lending wrap up 2025 report as information, moved by Councillor Burns, seconded by Councillor Reichel. Questions, comments? Councillor Reichel.
I'm just wondering if we could give direction, that maybe Cameron could get those boat safety kits. Either refurbish them or buy new ones and that exterior, it's fresh in your mind.
Yeah.
That'd be great. And I was also just wanting to say, like, the people that I know that went to the landing hub to get various pieces of apparatus, they were all very happy with your staff. And they just all the same, like I said, they're super friendly and this is just a great thing to have. So,
Yeah, they were great teams there.
yes. They were very nice. Thank you.
Councillor Robinson.
I was just going to say how pleased I was when I visited. It was well used, definitely. So it's, I think, also having staff being receptive, it does make a difference. So no, it was good. It was popping when I was there anyway.
Laura, do we need a separate resolution to approve the expenditure to buy those kits?
I think it's in Rex budget and they do that every year, so. Yeah.
Okay,
So you can go in.
thank you. Any other comments? It was a great program. Just Cameron, the paddle boards, are they the most popular item or do the kayaks get as much usage?
Well, when we first got the paddleboards that year, there was like a huge paddleboard craze. I think now it's equal. I think people are really into kayaking too.
I know Angelina Jolie was doing some morning and a lot of people to try it. They're still really popular and it's like whatever, if all kayaks are gone, people will take paddleboards, if all paddleboards are gone, people will take kayaks.
Very well. Well, Councilor Ankishon.
Do you think that we'll be involved in the Water and Beer Festival next year?
They'll certainly invite us, sure.
I know one of the comments from the Water and Dirt, now I don't know about all the events, but I know the biking event in Petawall, their comment was the numbers were down. A, because it was so hot. But B, they used to also have like a community fair going on, and that would bring a lot of people to watch that event. But now that there's so many events spread out across the county, I don't know if the attendance in the others is down, or if they're targeting a few of them, but
Well, so we did have a few less people than last year, but we partnered with the Golden Lake property owners last year and they were very active and they did a huge registration drive. So we did partner with the Lake Dory property owners this year and it was really great to partner with them and they did pancake breakfast, which was really nice. But maybe they just don't do as many events where they really get people signed up for things. So, you know, it's just open for growth for sure.
I know our numbers were always better when we had the double paddle event there too.
Yeah, they're amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a little bit.
Okay. Seeing no other comments, all in favor? That's carried, thank you. Item 7.3 is the swim program. And I have a motion that council accepts the swim program wrap up the 2025 report as information, moved by Councilor Bird, seconded by Councilor Buckle. Questions, comments? Councilor Ankishon.
Once again, thanks to your crew. Do you know, like, did more people get certified this year or moved up the levels? Do you have any idea?
I'm not sure about it, moving up the levels. I mean, our rate for passing was a lot higher this year.
Okay, so then.
Yeah, just because last year there was a lot of non-swimmers and this year there was a lot of swimmers, so you know, that made a big difference. And kids were, I think, more used to swimming, the swimming program in general and the style of teaching and all that, so it was just really smooth. The staff was amazing. We had setbacks from the health unit and they dealt with it amazingly well. They were so organized. Like everyone was returning staff except one, and he learned a lot from the returning staff. So there was like a lot of leadership development and it's really good.
And were there a lot of returning swimmers, like ones that took the program last year and then they enrolled this year?
I would say probably 75%, yeah.
And I know there was an issue with the algae bloom and all that other stuff, and then you went to DV. Do you think next year that they do both facilities?
You mean offer two separate locations?
Yeah, or just sometimes the lessons are here and sometimes the lessons are there. Or does that just make it like my ignorant?
No, you know what, I thought it would be a nightmare, but actually the parents dealt with it really well and they were, the swim staff communicated with the parents really well, so it worked really well. The Rotary Beach is really nice, it's a nice facility, so it's difficult, like I know Melissa Bishop Park would be a great location, but it's so far out.
Yeah, to get
Deep enough, it's not really feasible, so yeah, I mean, the Point Church location is fine, all but it works, you know, so.
All right, thanks again for the program.
Excellent program, and I think it's a great example of when municipalities work together. It's so much more efficient than if we're all trying to do our own program and the numbers are smaller and it's harder to attract more instructors. This way, you can put a lot of people through and the neighbors can all benefit from that program. Yeah.
So I will say, since I submitted this report, I got some Brown to reach out and asked if they could join next year as well, so that would be something.
Does that mean we'll have to find more instructors then?
So I think with 4 instructors, we can have another 10 to 20. And then actually, I think the location couldn't support more than that. So we'd have to have a conversation like about having 2 locations or something like that. But I think we could expand 10 to 20 more. And I think, so I'm not super wrong, we had maybe 3 or 4 families who wanted to sign up and weren't able to. So I feel like that leaves enough space.
It's really just nice to have the swim program back. There was
Yes,
that major issue with COVID and trying to get the bodies and on all that other stuff. And I know like some members of the rec committee were so, like I said, when we didn't have a program, I'm so glad now we did. So that was great. Great.
any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor? That is carried, thank you. Item 7.5 is the Bolger Union Public Library, and I have a motion that the Bolger Union Public Library September Board and CEO reports be accepted as information. Moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Councilor Shankwell. Questions or comments? Councilor Shankwell?
When they add new items to the book list and stuff, what do they do with the old books?
Well, they go through a reading process. So if the books are still able to be used, then I put them in, but not for
Right.
circulation. They would put them in for sale,
Okay.
and if they're not for sale, I put for this year anyway. The access books were either donated to the Silver Center, and those that didn't sell.
Okay.
But if a book is over a certain point, sometimes I have to just go.
Okay, I was just wondering, because I noticed the new items added, I'm like, I'll have to get rid of something else if I
Yeah,
was
they
speaking.
have to go through every so often.
Right.
They already have 29 boxes for next year's. So, but some of them that didn't make it, then as I said, donate to the senior center, to another little auxiliary.
Did the other donate any to the Mennonite community, like the?
I'm not sure.
Like the US readers funds or something?
Yeah, because I know they do come into the library, but I don't know whether they actually donate to them.
Right, okay.
The great travels into closing bank.
Was that?
You're going to the closing bank.
Yes, they're one of the ones that do that. And basically anywhere that are looking for free books, they will assist. She's very connected with each of them. Like I think the clothing brand, for example, donated funds to assist with some of the minor circulation. So there's a lot of interreactions.
Right.
With the different bodies in town. So, which is a good thing. She's very connected. And we were just sort of going with this, the book sale this year made over $6,000.
That's amazing.
That's the most it's ever made. And the same thing with the August Festival. They had way more participants. But I think it was their age, had over 112 people.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's quite a reaction taking place.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
And I think there's talking to Susan, there's a wait list of authors wanting to come to the Edinburgh Authors Festival because of the fact that it's so well attended. And the excellent home baked goods that.
Which is so dangerous. But it's well received, and people come from far and wide to actually attend.
Nice.
And some of the authors, being able to stay at the Edinburgh Inn, just makes it much more incentive.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor? That is carried, thank you. Item 7.5 is a community grant. I have a motion that council accepts the Community Resource Center Killaloe Community Grant Application Report is presented and agrees to reduce the total rate for the snowdrifters rental by $270 for the Community Resource Center Killaloe Infant Massage Program. Moved by Councillor Becky Schoenfeld, seconded by Councillor Bird. Questions, comments? Councillor Becky Schoenfeld.
I do like the program and the idea of doing it, and that's really great. I'm just wondering if in our different facilities, we could have like a little sheet that we had at the rec committee meeting where, you wanting to rent this. And then, because when you have those population of cohorts going there, they might say, oh, this would be great for this and this. We have a contact number, somebody could call, like Dawn. So if we have, that's just another,
And then how she-
Site.
yeah, not, or just something that basically says, want to rent this facility,
Number.
that's right. Like nice colorful something where we bring somebody's attention, because I'm pretty sure there is a board there to put it on, Because it's a great facility, because it's a nice big room, nice big space, They can use a fridge if they need something, so it's a great place to hold an event for sure.
It would be nice as well, now that you're saying that, to get a report from the resource center, like how many infants would they have during a program, and where are they coming from, yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I mean, and they could do that because we're giving them a deal, so.
Exactly.
And I imagine we have to report on this to somewhere.
Everything's sold.
That's a great one.
Okay, any other comments? All in favor? That's carried, thank you. Item 7.6 is the fire protection grant. I have a motion that staff be directed to apply for the fire protection grant and the funds be used as outlined in the associated report. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Eichel. Questions, comments? Councillor Eichel.
I never really thought of it like the carcinogens that come when you're fighting fire. It makes perfect sense to hear about, when a couch is on fire and stuff like that. So I never really thought about what you have to do to decontaminate your equipment, right?
Yes.
So this is great. What happens though to like the water? There's gotta be some contaminant. What do you do with that?
It's basically the solution to pollution is dilution
Oh, yeah.
and stuff like that. So instead of it being right on your gear, right next to you,
Mhm.
it goes through the system and dilutes it out. And you can get rid of it that way.
Does it look like a gigantic washing machine or
That's
is it?
essentially what it is, yes. An oversized dishwasher.
Yeah, oh, okay, so the stuff isn't tumbling, it's
No,
there.
it's sitting in there and some of the models have it on a turntable,
Yeah,
so it turns around, and other ones have jets that move around.
and then do you put in like some kind of solution, like I don't know, like a dish detergent or?
Well, there's specific detergents made up for doing stuff like that, and actually this one comes with it.
And is it also dry at the same
It
time?
will not dry at the same time, you have to take it out, but we do have a dryer, we bought last year's straight in it.
And it's the same scenario, you stick it in like a dishwasher and then it dries, it doesn't
Yeah.
tumble once again?
Don't tell me.
That would be like crazy then, okay.
It's like, I think like when you put your hat in or you shoot in the dryer, it
Yeah.
just sits there.
I don't have one of those.
It's an
Right.
adapter that
Yeah.
you put in that it turns, but the thing stays
Yeah.
stationary.
Yeah, the dryer that we have, basically, it's the size of the delivery.
Mhm.
And especially it's a cabinet with a heater level in it, and it only itself. Like to a temperature, it's not like damaged materials or rubber synthetics in that, but it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
We had a bushfire the other day, and I think I covered all that fluid. Ran through the gear washer in the hall, pulled them out, threw them in the dryer, threw out a bit, and my gear was all to go again.
Yeah.
As opposed
Just what you need.
to setting it away for a full decontamination, which you don't have to do after every fire, but this is awesome. So yeah, this will be good for using apparatus and such. Sorry, Jack, I jumped on there.
That's better.
Thanks for that explanation.
There's one other point that when I wrote the report, it was accurate, but Montreal Valley has decided that they're not interested in partaking with us, because they got different priorities for their grant money. They said they're not opposed to working with us in the future, but just for this particular, people equipment, they're not. He is interested in being able to use it on a, per use basis, cost per use. But
Would you ever heard of the First Nations? Would that improve your grant, chances of being successful?
don't think we can improve our grant chances to be successful, because, basically the fire marshal's office is telling everybody to apply, because everybody's pretty much guaranteed.
Right, okay. Thank you.
So just like you were saying, BB then will utilize your washer and dryer to wash some of their gear as well.
Yes,
Is every fire department planning to purchase their own washer and dryer, or is this?
I don't believe so. Yeah, like I said, they got different priorities for theirs, for their money right now. But,
Will there be a giant like coin operating thing with it?
we haven't worked that part out yet.
So within the works then, there will be a fee for the service if somebody wants to utilize your equipment.
Yes, just so. You know, cover the costs.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other comments? All in favor? That's carried, thank you. Item 7.7 is the New Horizons for Seniors, and I have a motion that council accepts the New Horizons for Seniors Fall Update Report as presented, and further that council accepts a $60 per use contribution from the Golden Lake Music Jam Group to continue offering the activity from January to June 2026. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Third. Questions, comments? Councillor Reggie Schultz.
Once again, Cameron, you've taken like the Golden Lake Hall and made it into like a real community and a nice community center with all the different things and things. And I know it can be exhausting at times, but you seem to have a big critical mass and people who want to do stuff. And, you know, it's nice to see it used, and it's nice to see the property looking really like inviting.
I cannot take credit for it. There's so many volunteers and none of these things were my idea. They all brought the ideas to the township, so I can't take credit for that.
You still need somebody though at the head, you know, just helping to organize and do things and that, but it's nice to see. And it's nice, it seemed like the people at the jam session really seem to have a good time, so I'm sure they're appreciative of the fact that once a week they can come there whatever time and meet and have a good time.
And I wanted to ask you about the community gardens, that went very well this year.
Yeah, it went great. More volunteers, lots of people from the village. We had our summer students go door to door in Golden Lake with flyers and tell people about it, which made a big difference, I think, like, because people don't check social media and they don't check the posting boards or whatever, so they went and people asked questions face to face with students and were able to make a connection. And I think there was a lot of people who came to some of the events who had never been to anything in the village before, or had never even been to the hall, or had never met their neighbors even, which is kind of strange, but yeah, so I think, yeah, there was a lot of new faces this year and a lot of more core volunteers for the community garden, which is really needed.
That's good to hear. And I know that the community gardens, some people that even don't help with the gardens are helping themselves to the produce, so.
Which spot, yeah.
Councillor Robinson.
I just wanted to comment, there was a comment you made about it's not just you. But I think that we have made that open so that people are receptive to come. Which I think, the area is inviting. So we should take some credit for that.
Honestly, I have to say Nora Shea is a huge organizer behind all this. Like, there's a lot of people that do little things, but she is fundamental to phone calling people individually and collecting donations and stuff like that. Like, I really can't take credit for it, honestly. Yeah. Like, I would say Nora is like the main volunteer in all these things, but there's, like I said, there's a couple of young families who moved to Golden Lake who are really involved, and they're really like with babies, and they've met each other, and they're now very invested in the community, and they want to see it grow, and they envision their children growing up there and everything, so it's really nice.
That's good. Excellent. Any other comments? The lady that painted a picnic table, he was moved to a township last year. When we lived on Spruce Street. Right. And she painted the picnic table, said the tree was, oh, great, yeah. It's nice when people come forward and volunteer their time.
Oh yeah, can I also mention that, so you asked for accessible picnic table, it's an accessible picnic table.
Thanks, Karen.
Yeah, no, it's
Good.
good.
But people are listening.
Yeah.
I did see that in your note though.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm like, oh, that's really nice.
Hey, Steve, no other comments, all in favor? That's carried, thank you. Item 10.8 is the procurement bylaw updates, and I have a motion council accepts the procurement bylaw update report as presented. Moved by Councillor Burke, seconded by Councillor Buckwell. Questions, comments? Councillor Raymond.
When making the bylaw, did you look at, like, and with the dollar value, did you look at other municipalities?
Yes, we compared four other municipalities. And we matched with the most current bylaw that has been updated since COVID.
Okay. And the other thing too was, you know how we do like a lot more RFPs as opposed to tenders? Do we have to change that, or do we still feel like tenders are good word to use as opposed to RFPs?
Tender seems to be the most common.
Like not municipalities are using it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this was a bylaw that, in spite of the inflation figures we've seen in the last number of years, that a lot of the municipalities are updating their purchase limits because the figures that are, when was the last time this one was done? Why is it?
2014.
Oh, yeah. A lot has changed.
The prices haven't gone up since then.
Yeah, no, no.
That's, that one's true.
Any other comments? All in favor? That's carried, thank you. Item 7.9 is the change of meeting date and time, and I have a motion at that the October council meeting date be changed from October 21st to October the 20th. Moved by Councillor Burke, seconded by Councillor Robinson.
So that's a Monday, right?
Yes.
Yes. Questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried, thank you. Item 7.10 is the thorough and no allowance closures, and I have a motion that council accepts this report as information pertaining to bylaws 2025-35 and 2025-36. Moved by Councillor Buchwald, seconded by Councillor Burke. Questions or comments? All in favor? It's carried, thank you. That brings us to departmental updates. Item 8.1 is the building department update, and I have a motion that council accepts the CBO building update report as information. Moved by Councillor Buchwald, seconded by Councillor Champlain. Questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried, thank you. And 9.1 are non-action correspondence items, and I have a motion that correspondence items 9.1.1 to 9.1.3 be accepted as information. Moved by Councilor Burke, seconded by Councilor Beckwith. Questions? Councilor Recchi.
Okay, so, there was, information about in Ontario Senior Achievement of the Year Award. Is that in the non?
That's an action.
That's an
That's
action,
an action item.
must be right after that.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay. All in favor? That's carried, thank you. Item 9.2.1, Ontario Senior Achievement Award, and I have a motion of council direct staff to submit a nomination to the 2025 Ontario Senior Achievement Awards nominated. Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Recchi. Councilor Recchi.
I have a name, Val Hinsberger. And Val's gonna along with the Winter Games. She's been on the rec committee forever. I know she's done stuff to raise money for the water park and stuff like that in Edenville. I think she's been on that economic development committee also. And I think there's something to do with when she had something to do with by the library and remember we were all lights were in the summertime. What was that?
You mean
The outdoor market.
oh, yeah,
So she had something to do with that, I know.
yeah.
And I know she does choir, I don't know if she does in the choir, but to me, like, she's very deserving when I think of some of this stuff, and we can put the name forward. But then what do we have to do? Find information, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'll volunteer to find out information. Which I will forward to. Who will I forward it to?
Luke.
Okay, tell Luke, got a job.
Any other nominations, or is everybody good with Don's budget? Councilor Robinson,
Yes,
you're
sir.
thinking.
Like sorry.
You were what? What were you?
Ah,
You were thinking.
no,
Well, do you have another? Do you have another?
not jumping to the middle. So we'll go with that.
Okay, all right.
All in favor? That's carried, thank you. Item 9.2.2 is the technology and science fair. I have a motion to council donate $500 to the Renfrew County Regional Science and Technology Fair as a special award sponsor from council donations budget. Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Burke. Questions, comments, Councilor Recchi?
Do we ever get back any information for our county science fairs, like winners and stuff like that?
Not directly, but I do believe if you search, you'll have information.
Yes, ma'am.
There's websites.
Sometimes it's reported when you advertise in news, yeah.
Do you know if they have, when they do the science fair, if they have like our logo and stuff there? Or do they know if they advertise?
I believe that's what part of the sponsorship is, you get your logo involved. In many of the things that you,
Mhm.
yeah, I believe the letter that say. What the levels tell you. That,
Yeah, there's the back page, we see
Yes.
what each of the levels are.
Any other comments? All in favor? Carried, thank you. Item 9.2.3 is the Ontario Ministry of Energy and Mines. And I have a motion to council direct staff to participate in the Ontario Ministry of Energy and Mines consultation on the future of community natural gas expansion. ERO 02509223. Moved by Councillor Buckland, seconded by Councillor Schultz. Questions, comments? Councillor Robinson.
I guess I'm just wondering, is this expansion in Renfrew County?
I believe it, no, I believe it is. I think one of the things they were considering was the current plan is to bring it out as far as food land and Stone Drifters. But then the next step was maybe looking at, would they take it as far as Golden Lake?
So that's what this is.
That's what this is about, is, consultation on further expansion.
And will this be available to the public, or is it just select?
Well, I think it will be available to the public after the consultation process.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's, I think, 3 phases. One phase was to get the lines to Edenville, and then there was the first phase was, I'm not sure if it was this side of the bridge or the opposite side, and then the last phase is, up 60, yeah. Any other comments? Councillor Robinson.
Is it 11:59 PM or AM?
But usually it's PM. Well, if say.
It says PM, which is night.
Yes, you probably have to leave. Don't pay. That's not unusual.
No?
Not in provincial federal government things.
Okay.
Because we all stay up to midnight waiting for that last comment to come in.
It's like,
Well, I know it's usually more of a federal thing, because then it gives you more coverage of the time zones.
right.
Right, so if you pick midnight at one of the time zones, like say midnight Eastern, which we got.
Yes, 2 hours on the west coast, yeah. Okay,
Interesting.
all in favor? That is carried, thank you. That brings us to bylaws. Item 10.1 is bylaw 2025-35. Now therefore the council of North Algona Wilberforce enact the following bylaw 2025-35, being a bylaw to provide for the closing up of a part of shoreline road allowance in regard to Shaven. Do I have a mover and seconder? Moved by Councillor Schoenfeld, seconded by Councillor Buckland. Comments? All in favor? That's carried, thank you. And 10.2 is bylaw 2025-36. Now therefore, the Council of North Algona Wilberforce enacts the following bylaw, being a bylaw to provide for the closing and stopping up of part of a shoreline road allowance for Griffith. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Schoenfeld. Comments? All in favor? Here, that's carried. That brings us to matters of urgency, and we have one matter of urgency.
Why did you do the other bylaw?
Yes, we're gonna,
Yeah,
it's
you're-
one technically different.
Sorry,
That's okay.
I missed that, sorry. Thanks for the reminder. Item 10.3, bylaw 2025-37. Now therefore, the Council of North Algona Wilberforce enact the following bylaw. Being a bylaw to adopt policies and procedures governing the procurement of goods and services for the corporation of North Algona Wilberforce Township. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Burns. Comments? All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Now we're at members. And it involves an email from Bolshire Union Public Library asking if the township would sponsor them again this year for the Maple Rocks event. And I said we couldn't get it on this agenda, but we could do it for October. And then a response from Susan, the CEO, she said, we'd really like to include your name if you're going to sponsor us and we want to send out the advertising in the next week or two. So that's why I've included it as a matter of urgency. You have a resolution.
Yeah, we were going to work on that as we're speaking here.
Okay.
What did we sponsor last year?
Last year we sponsored, the last 2 years we sponsored 500. My suggestion would be 300, only because Laura checked and our donations budgets are almost drained.
So there, that's for
For me,
January. Oh, budget.
But they're so busy focusing on the book sale, the office festival, that it's but the ask should be earlier. I'll say that to you.
well, and the other thing that we've done with some of the reoccurring some of these organizations, is that we build it right into the budget money so that people don't have to come back every year and ask. So going forward, you're right, if they just make that as a regular ask.
I believe if they still have asked every year, it does not come a chance for them still already the budget.
Yeah,
Right, that's, she able to go ahead and put the payment.
yeah.
Is this okay, or would you like something?
So the motion that council sponsors 300 was the 2025 Maple Rocks event.
Do you have to say it comes out of the donation budget like you did on the other one?
Normally I would, but we're not exactly sure which one it's going to come out of, we're gonna wait and see.
Councilor Robinson?
No,
Oh, you're seconding? Okay. Moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Discussion? All in favor? That's carried, thank you. Are there any notice of motion? Reports from committees, we've already been through upcoming meetings and unfinished business, so the next recreation committee meeting will be October the 6th, 2025 at 7 p.m. And the next regular council will be October, and that will be October the 20th at 7 p.m. And we have no closed session tonight. Or do we? Okay. So that brings us to item 17, our confirmatory bylaw. That bylaw 2025 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council for September 16th, 2025, is read at first and second time the 16th day of September 2025, moved by Councilor Stonefellow, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Is read a third time and finally passed the 16th day of September 2025. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. And finally, item number 18, that this September 16th, 2025, the council adjourns at 7:55 p.m. Moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Councilor Schoenfeld. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you all very much.